The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, says nothing can stop the inauguration of President-elect Bola Tinubu on May 29. He is calling on all Nigerians to support the incoming government to succeed. The Sultan stated this while seeking prayers for the success of Tinubu's administration during a roundtable meeting with traditional rulers and religious leaders in the country. The meeting was organized by the World Bank on Wednesday in Abuja. And I have in the studio Baba Yusuf. He's a strategist and policy analyst. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me, Hamza.
Yes, you heard what the Sultan said. Is he really amplifying the fears of the military 2 days ago that they are tracking some people who are hell-bent in actually truncating the transition?
I don't think he's amplifying, and I think it is high time public figures and leaders like Sultan to come out and make such statements to, first of all, assuage fears and also build the confidence of the citizens that indeed the democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. The political process is still ongoing. A phase has been passed. Elections have been cast. Winners have been announced, and those that are not satisfied have taken the route constitutionally allowed, undergoing litigation. Of course, the statement of the Sultan is coming, at the right time because of the toxic narrative by a lot of fifth columnists and some characters in the country who feel that is the way to go. Unfortunately so, even though they consider themselves also advocates of democracy. Statements of also people that we consider quote and unquote leaders, and even some cases candidates, coming out with scathing remarks that I believe have gone beyond where, the comments have gone beyond the boundary they should be. So it's good to have such counter statements
from people like Sultan.
From people like
people always commend Sultan for being forthright. When it comes to calling people out, he does that without, maybe mincing his words.
Yes,
is it because of his military background and maybe being on the throne for quite a while so far?
No, I don't think it has to do with just being on the throne for a while, Hamza. It has to do with the person of the Sultan. His personality type, his emotional intelligence, his experience in leadership. Of course, his military background also will add a lot of value to it, and also the family background itself. So it's a combination of qualities and attributes that should be of a person of Sultan. His forthrightness is what I call the value added in the person of the Sultan, saying things as they should be. He's a father figure in the nation and is a religious leader for that matter, and therefore the way and manner he conducts himself is commendable, and it is the way to.
And it appears Tinubu is unperturbed, going by what he is presently doing. Just a day or two, he met with Konkoso, leader of the NNPP in Paris. What is your takeaway, even though you were not there, but what did you deduct from that conversation? Is it around the national unity or is beyond that?
Okay, I will dimension your question and answer from three perspectives. First of all, you asked about his composure, his mien. That is the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. People that want to go far in this game must have the quality of calmness in the storm. And that is one quality he has exhibited over time. In the last 23 years of Nigerian democracy, he is a man that you can call a cat with 9 lives. He has been there, done that. And all through the storms, he remains calm. And I think that is what gives him peripheral vision to be able to see things the way they should be seen and to be able to scale heights,
the hurdles,
the hurdles. And I think this is the quality of a leader that is a winner. Talking about the time now, of course, that is what he should be. He should be calm, cool, and collected. He has been declared a winner. he is declared president-elect, he should be more focused on preparing to take mantle of leadership rather than being distracted by other matters. Because when he becomes distracted, then there's a problem. In the next few days, less than 12 days, 10 days or so, he's going to be sworn in. So he should be very bothered more so with the issues of state rather than matters
the politicking and all that.
The politicking
that is destructive.
So I think in his own book right now, in his playbook, that is not the game to play. The game is focus, focus, and focus. And when you talk about the engagement with the national leader of NNPP, the presidential candidate, engineer Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, brilliant move. I say it's a mix of both. It has to do with the speculation about the government of national unity. It's a deft move by Bola Ahmed Tinubu because, if you recall, they were mate governors in 1999. Return to democracy. Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos State, and Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso became governor of Kano State. So they were together at the National Economic Council as mate governors. Now, the right thing to do is what Ashwaji is doing, reining in the benefit of deeply entrenched, long-standing political relationships. And if you look at it from that angle, conversations may be around how will he be able to get back to the table as much as possible long-time political allies or long-time, political juggernauts, to see how he can bring people together to move a country forward at a time that Nigeria is highly polarized and a highly toxic situation. So, and another angle to it is a strategic move, I reckon, by Ashwaju, because if you should know that the NNPP had a clean sweep of the Kano,
two senators,
the National Assembly,
House of Reps.
This 18 number or thereabouts House of Rep members elects are critical success factors to deliver, the leadership of the 10th Assembly, especially with regards to the House of Representatives. There's already a hue and cry within the APC ranks with regards to the leadership nomination by the APC and the various camps that are angry with that. And of course, we don't expect a consensus. The counter maneuvers by Ashwaju is to see how he will reach out beyond the party lines. After all, the emergence of the leaders of the National Assembly is not entirely a party affair. So political, acumen in terms of how he tries to get as much votes of members elect of other parties, is what will, make the leaders that will emerge, and that is what will make him win, to be able to get leaders that he can be able to.
Then what about Kwankwaso's side? Is it okay what he did? That is meeting with Tinubu. Is it okay strategically?
Hamza, I agree that the kind of democratic system we run is a winner's take all, but we should also evolve as a polity, to be honest. Elections should not be a do or die affair. Neither should they be a cutthroat, knife and guns blazing affair. Good sportsmanship and looking forward, political positioning. This is what is happening. For Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, he is not a newcomer in this, not a greenhorn in this game. And he is a nationalist. We must give it to him. He is a patriot. He is for the goodness of Nigeria. He will look at what is on the table and look at what is good for the people of Kano State and for the people of Nigeria. I believe in consultations, compromise, and discussions with a view to see how we move Nigeria forward. Hey, we don't have to be on the same page with regards to critical issues. But our political maturity says that we can be in different parties, but we should be able to agree on some issues that will unite us moving Nigeria forward. I give you an example. Yesterday, if you watch the conversations around the meltdown of the banking sector, in America, and there was a hearing, a public hearing, in the National Assembly, at the Assembly of the United States of America. And you see what you call bipartisan, bipartisan position taken with regards to that critical issue. And you know how highly divided or toxic the relationship between Democrats and Republicans is at the moment. But you see where there are critical national issues, bipartisan position taken, people coming to unite on common grounds to deal with the issues.
Irrespective of the party leaning.
Absolutely, to say this is something that we need to deal with. And we need to look beyond party lines to deal with this. That is political maturity.
Because there is a fear that we'll be worse off this time around, considering the kind of people going to the National Assembly. Many never expected to win House of Reps seats.
Absolutely.
Now you have them. Then different political parties, almost 8 or thereabout, they have representation there. What is your take? Are we going to have a rank-free, or is it going to be a rancorous National Assembly?
I am not the type that belongs to the school of thought that there must be this kind of rancorous relationship between the executive and the legislature for progress to happen. Sometimes actually a toxic relationship between legislature and executive, spells doom for an administration. What we want to see is what I call creative tension.
Creative tension. Wow.
Creative tension and constructive engagements with a view to coming out with what is the best in Nigeria, brainstorming. So that is what we want to see. And people that are of goodwill and are good value will see things the way they should see, and rather than being rubber stamp. And with regards to the high number of newcomers, it has its gain, it has its pluses and minuses. Hey, it's a political evolution. This is a new phase in the 10th Assembly, and people have come. Let's not also forget that these new people, quote and unquote, are not people that just came out of nowhere with no experience, with no value. They will definitely come with some value, whether it is political, whether it is technical, whatever it is from
many of them are seen as greenhorns.
Yes, politically they may be greenhorns.
Maybe, but they must have
in terms of parliamentary operations and politics and strategy, they may be new. But in 1999, we also had greenhorns and we evolved. But what is also the downside is that lack of experience may play out in a way and manner that may not impact
because more than 70% of the all hands have been flushed out.
But then again, you ask yourself, in the last 23 years, with all due respect to the National Assembly, what critical values really, in terms of tangible, if you do a comparative analysis to say, can we stand up and give a standing ovation to the parliament in the last 23 years? To be honest, I won't be one of those that will give a standing ovation. So for those that meaning
that we are going down, because just yesterday we hosted a legislator here, a senator-elect, and he said, we never had it so bad as in this transition, going by how Tinubu is pushing to ensure that Akpabio and Tajuddin, take over the Senate and the House of Representatives. That it wasn't like this. I cited Obasanjo's time, that he was also actually very influential, but he said, but it didn't work in favor of Obasanjo at the end of the day, and we may see worse scenario this time around. Do you agree with that?
I call it political talk. Okay. Why? Because I don't know the member-elect you are talking about, but I have never seen anywhere in the world where a president or a prime minister is not interested to be inclined to influence, or indeed to be interested, whether covertly or overtly, as with regards to who heads the parliament.
So are you saying what Tinubu is doing now is okay?
Well, I wouldn't say
because
it is
zoning
okay
one thing,
or
but
not,
this one is apart from zoning, the microzone, the micro-zone.
Absolutely. It's a new thing for us, the observers from outside the party. But what I'm saying is, it is what it is. The party has played a card. Like the member-elect mentioned, these scenarios has played out during the time of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, even during the time of President Jonathan Goodluck, and even the time of 2015, during the time of General Muhammadu Buhari, where we saw the carpet pulled under the feet of the sitting presidents. And the parliamentary game, we understand, is totally different. And I'm very sure that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is aware of this. If he is not, I will be very shocked. So what I'm saying, like I said somewhere, is APC, and indeed Bola Ahmed Tinubu has flown a kite. And why? From a strategic perspective, they threw these permutations early enough, right? To test the waters and to see how it will play out. And of course, to give them opportunity to also see if these candidates will be able to scale through. 24 hours in politics is a long time. I can assure you, political reasoning will play out because we are dealing with a highly politically experienced person who also doesn't want to lose. I believe that the president-elect wants to succeed. He wants to make a mark in history in Nigeria. He doesn't want to come and fail. Indeed, his track record has shown that. So I believe that as we are progressing, build up to the swearing in
and the
proclamation of the 10th Assembly, the dynamics will be changing. And if it matters, when it matters, the party will take a different position. Also, the president-elect is quite aware of the high level of polarization in the country. I can tell you, we have heard some movements within the party of some members-elect that are taking a position that are changing.
Okay.
I am sure that build-up, especially after the swearing-in, I will tell people to wait and hold our horses until after the swearing of the president-elect.
On 29th May.
A lot of things will take
I heard it in certain quarters that he was even contemplating bringing back the proclamation date backwards in order not to extend the wrangling and all that.
Whatever it is, the moment the president becomes a sworn-in president, Hamza, the whole conversation changes. Right? But what I'm saying is I'm not promoting imposition. Let me be clear. I'm not promoting imposition of candidates.
But would you like to have his way?
But I would like a situation whereby internal democracy will hold sway at the end of the day, so that whatever plays out with the parliament, we'll have a parliament that is very robust, very value-oriented, and very value-impactful.
Yes, as you mentioned, alignments are realignments. Just on Wednesday night, some of the aspirants for the speakership position, they dropped their ambition in favor of Abbas. You think something like this will also happen in the Senate?
Like I said, in the Senate, you see, if you look at the two scenarios, the Senate is a little bit less rancorous.
Yeah, because even the maturity of the
even
members.
Historically, it has been so. The House has been the more dynamic and more unpredictable, chamber of the House, right from the election of the leaders and to the processes. It's a highly unpredictable chamber, highly, energetic, if you like. So we will wait to see. I don't anticipate much change in terms of the dynamics, because even if you look at the zoning, in fairness, in time of the Senate, I think it's a better balance. I think the hue and cry about the
you are in tune with that.
I am in tune in that.
But many people in the north, Baba Yusuf, they're so angry that power is completely moving southwards.
You see, Hamza, the question is, for those that are saying this, do we want to make progress as a nation, or do we want to stay, or do we want to move backwards? What I'm saying is this is a country of people from different regions, different ethnicity, different tribes. It's not a region of one person. I am from the northwest.
Yeah.
Right?
Precisely Kano.
Precisely Kano. But what we are saying is, we saw what the Muslim ticket did. I don't know how Ashwaju pulled that trick, but ultimately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the power. But I think it's pushing our luck too far, and an insult on Nigerians to still say we should still have the Senate presidency in the Northwest. Okay? This, to my mind,
the numbers.
The
figures.
Yes, numbers. So, you see, when you come with this sense of entitlement, this sense of unity and progressiveness in Nigeria will not change. Numbers are there. We are just talking about the presidency of the Senate, Hamza. And we should not forget about also the Northeastern Bloc. Because sometimes you keep on narrowing it. We talk about North and South, and then we regionalize it and compartmentalize it and narrow it down to what point. The point is this. We should also take cognizance of other people from other nationalities, from other tribe and religion. We should have balance at that level. That is the first step to demonstrate that we want to move forward as a nation. And if we have a Christian from South as a Senate president, why not? I totally align with the zoning. My own concern and my own call to Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC. I am not second guessing them.
Yeah.
But I believe that the non-central issue should be addressed within the party, in the interest of the party unity, in the interest of Nigeria. Indeed, I'm also conscious of the fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very much aware of this gap. I have an idea based on what we know about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed. He has an answer to that question. Maybe how he plays it out will be what we'll see. But I don't want to believe that a region that gave him almost the third chunk of votes that made him president, he will totally ignore them. It is not in his personality, it is not in his character. But for those that, some of us that believe from the Northwest, because we give the whole votes, we should have everything. I think we should have everything.
Are you foreseeing
politically?
Per chance? I can see you said, okay, Tinubu knows a lot, he knows how to navigate his ways and all that. Are you foreclosing the probability of having reincarnation of 2015 in the National
It's possible.
Assembly?
Now that is left to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to decide if he wants to go also down in history as a president that ended up having it this way. And indeed it will be worse off for him, because we can accuse General Muhammadu Buhari for one reason or the other. He was a parliamentarian, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was a senator. Albeit he didn't play out the way we expect, but he has that experience, of running that, and he has seen it happen in his party in 2015,
so he would not allow it to
in
happen.
2011. Okay, so I believe that he wouldn't want to be one of those that will be counted on that side. I believe, like I said, political reasoning will prevail. The kite has been flown. As the days go by, we'll see how things play out. But I would like to see that internal democracy, played out in the case of the parliament, because it has turned out to be the albatross of most of the political juggernauts in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Baba Yusuf, strategist and policy analyst, for your informed perspective.
Thank you very much.
We'll have you again.
I appreciate it.